Alright, what's going on guys, it's Cameron here, back with another video. In this one I'm going to be talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the heroes that we so far know are going to be in the game. A list of 16 heroes was leaked last week on Reddit, and there are some quite alarming omissions. However, I'll get on to those omissions a little bit later on in the video, and DICE have indeed responded to some concerns over such omissions. Alright, so nonetheless, let's get into the leaked list. So we have Boba Fett, Han Solo, Leia, Luke, Bossk, Chewbacca, Darth Vader, the Emperor, General Grievous, Iden Versio, who is the main character in the campaign of the game, and it's worth noting that she is now effectively legit Star Wars canon, so I guess it's alright for them to put her in as a hero. Then we have Kylo Ren, Lando, Darth Maul, Captain Phasma, Rey, and Yoda. It's worth noting that Finn isn't actually included on this list, which we obviously know that Captain Phasma and Finn will both be coming to the game in the form of the first free DLC update as part of this game's Seasons DLC plan, where obviously we'll get various free updates to the game, maps, heroes, vehicles, stuff like that. And the first update is obviously themed around the new film Star Wars The Last Jedi. Alright, so going by that list, there's quite a lot of Clone Wars characters that haven't been included. I know a lot of people are going to be a bit pissed off by that, because personally, in the whole time that I've been watching Battlefront 2 videos and stuff, everyone seems to expect half of the Clone Wars roster to be in the game at launch. People like Kiadi Mindu, Mace Windu. Like, to be honest with you, I would be happy enough with like Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Yoda, and then 3 villains, because I'm realistic here. I don't think we'll get more than 20 heroes at launch, and I think 20 is a bit of a push, to be honest. You think about how like unique the abilities and stuff are, and the fact that this game is taking the jump from 1 era to 3. I think you need to realize a bit that maybe your expectations at launch anyway are not realistic. However, saying that, you'll have noticed that Anakin, Obi-Wan, Padme, those kind of people, their names weren't even on that leaked list, and this has led to some people tweeting Dennis, who is he's basically the main community guy at DICE. I think his official title is the Associate Design Director on Battlefront 2. So yeah, he's pretty experienced with interacting with the community and stuff like that. He's a bit like Deej with Destiny. But yeah, you can see this guy Bryce here. He hasn't asked Dennis in the nicest way, I think it's fair to say, but he says, hey, can we get these amazing characters at launch and not some reused old trilogy OT bullshit? And obviously the photo showcases Obi-Wan, Padme, Anakin, and Dennis replied and says he wants them all sooner or later, Ahsoka over Padme though. Now I realise this is probably pretty exciting for those of you that are like die-hard Clone Wars fans. Personally, never watched the series, but I totally get Ahsoka's appeal. Personally, I never thought she would make it into a game like this, or like even be considered, because obviously the Clone Wars is like, it's animated, like it's a cartoon, so I'm not really sure how they would, approach her art style in a game like this, where these graphics are like ultra realistic. So I'm not really sure how they would approach that from a design perspective, but obviously it's DICE, they're one of the most talented studios out there, so yeah, I'm sure it's something that if they are even considering tackling it, then they obviously have a plan for it. The fact that Dennis even mentioned Ahsoka definitely lets us know that the community has indeed been heard, and they're definitely considering putting her in the game. And obviously this game's going to be supported well into the future, hopefully, with free DLC, and I think a lot of people are kind of hoping that heroes make up the bulk of that DLC, maps as well obviously, but there are so many characters in the Star Wars universe, they're never going to make everyone happy. There's some really abstract characters. I would be very surprised if they ever make it into the game. Ahsoka's a bit different though in my opinion, but yeah, the fact that they're even considering her is definitely a plus point for all of you that wanted her in the game at some point. It's worth noting that all these characters are probably not going to be in the game at launch. Anakin, Obi-Wan, a bit surprised about Obi-Wan, but Anakin's a bit of a different story, because obviously he is already in the game technically as Darth Vader. But I was kind of surprised. I thought Obi-Wan would be in the game at launch with Yoda. Him, Yoda, Darth Maul, and another Sith. I don't know, maybe Grievous making up the Clone Wars characters. But yeah, obviously that's not the case. It's also worth noting that this Reddit leaked list is not, 100% confirmed. Obviously he missed out Finn on this list, so he might be missing a few heroes, but nonetheless it has caused quite a bit of a stir ever since it was uncovered because of the omissions from the list in the first place. But yeah guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.